Hey everybody, Debbie Starr here. Wanted to pop in and do a quick little tutorial on how to create email templates inside of FGF, Funnel Gorgeous / GoHighLevel, whatever white labeled program you're using. Pretty much all of these all-in-one marketing platforms work the same way. Now I'm going to give you a little caveat. I have a soapbox as far as best practice for emails. And if you stick with me to the end, I'll just talk about that a little bit because the whole idea of emails is to get people to open them and to read them. So stick with me till the end and then I'll talk about that. So right now we are in Funnel Gorgeous / GoHighLevel. And over here on the left, when we click on marketing and up at the top, you'll see emails and templates. So that's the window that I'm at. Now, first of all, when you click on new, sometimes it hesitates just for a minute. You have the option, you could create one from an existing campaign. So what I suggest is you create your template and then going forward, you just always use that template or that campaign. And what is a campaign? Basically, it's an email that you want to blast out. You want to do a broadcast to everybody that's on your list or everybody that's got a certain tag, whatever it is, okay? So out of the box, if you click on the email marketing templates, there's all kinds of, they look beautiful, but stick with me till the end. I do not recommend that you use any of these, okay? And what I'm going to show you, it's not going to take you that much longer. And again, the whole idea is you want people to open your emails, right? That's the key. So go up to new and click on blank. Now, the other thing is ignore this code editor unless you're a deep programmer. If you got in there, it would just scare you away anyway. So just click on the design editor. And then when this screen comes up, a couple things that I want to mention to you here. One second. Okay, up here at the top, we have the content tab where is all of the goodies to build your email and then the appearance. So if we click on the appearance tab, and you open up the template. Now, one thing you can do is you can change the background color. So you'll notice here, it's kind of a real light blue. Now, adding just a little bit of color really is not going to impact the deliverability and the open rate. So if you want to change that color a little bit, you can. And then you'll notice here the body is white, just so it stands out a little bit. One other thing I'm going to mention is the content width. Now, there's been some studies and discussions online about the shorter the line is, the less people have to kind of move their head and their eyes, the more likely they are to read. So if you want to shorten your line width a little bit, I would suggest doing that. It would just make it a little easier. And again, we want people to read the whole email. So make it easy for them. The background image, I would not do anything with that. All right. So we're moving along here. Let me just move this out of the way. Some of the other stuff, like you could customize your buttons and all of that. And now this is kind of a newer feature. You can do mobile formatting on that also. All right. So basically what I would change on this is the content width. And if you want to add a little background color, again, don't go over the top. So if one of your background brand colors is a dark blue like mine, I would not use that because again, we want people to open the email and when they first glance at it, if it looks like it's a marketing thing, if it looks like it's a catalog, what are they going to do? They're not going to consume it. So I just play on the down low with that. All right, so this first block of text, when you click on it, you can edit the layout so you can have just one column or two columns, whatever you want. Again, normally I'm going to go with just a basic email because you want people to read it. All right, so I'm not going to do anything on the background layout of that. So when you click in this little box right here in the middle, this is where you can start typing. So a couple of things that I do right out of the box is I don't like Arial. So I click on that, and I usually use Verdanda or, whatever choice you want. I'm getting a little older, so I kind of like 16 point, but again, you can use whatever you want. Again, if you make the text too small, people have a hard time reading it. They're going to bounce off. So I'm going to have set that, and then I'm just going to move that down just a little bit. And then the last thing I'm going to do, the default is a center. I'm going to left align again, because the default is it's like a magazine and here's the header. I don't do that. I just write the email just like I'm talking to my my favorite best friend. Hey, I had this quick little message I wanted to share with you. Okay. So I'm just going to type just a little bit. And then we're going to come back and talk about this, but I'm just going to fill this in with some text here. All right, now I'm going to delete all of that. Okay, so the first thing is, now this does look kind of dark, right? So you can play around with your text and see, it might be the particular font that you're using. So just play with it and see how it looks for you. 14 to 16 point is probably a good size for your people. Because let's face it, a lot of us are getting to the point that we need those little readers, right? Now, the next thing that I want to mention to you is, I'm just going to add some more text here. When we have this text, I'm going to just highlight this paragraph here. Up here at the top, kind of to the right side here, this is the spacing. And I think out of the box, it's probably set at 1.15 or maybe just 1. But look what happened. So right now, this is 1.5. See how scrunched up it is? Again, people are not going to read that if it's too difficult for them. So what I would do, and I just have this paragraph selected so you can see the difference. I normally set it for like 1.5. And do you see how much more easy that is to consume the content? I'm going to get rid of the content above here because I think it was just grabbing something that was bolded. Now I'm just going to add a couple more here. So then here is our kind of standard email. Another quick tip that I'm going to give you is white space is free. So use it a lot. Again, people don't read, they skim. And if it looks like work, if you've written a dissertation and there's no white space and it's just words, 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 people aren't going to read it. So even this middle paragraph is actually too much. So I would come in here and I would break it up into 2 paragraphs and look for places that you can bold just little pieces of text, because that's where you want the eye to go, because again, people are skimmers and they're just going to skim down this email. Are you with me? Now, I can hear a lot of you saying, but this isn't very pretty. This just looks like an ugly email. That is the point. Because if you make it too fancy, especially with a new list or a list that's not very warmed up, one, the email servers, they see all of this extra coding, that HTML coding that makes it so pretty and fancy. They see it in the background. They can kind of read underneath the hood and they say, oh, this must be junk mail. Now, let's face it, when you go to your mailbox every day and you're pulling out all those catalogs and all those junk mail things, unless it's your favorite store, are you jumping up and down, excited about it? Most of us aren't. What happens? We come in the house, we just throw it in the wastebasket. So if you make your emails too fancy, pay attention, kids. Chances are that's why it's landing in the spam. Email, yes, there's a place for pretty blogs and all of that kind of stuff. But if you are trying to communicate with your leads, if you're trying to get them to take action, you need them, one, to open the email. They won't open the email if it's always in the spam. They won't open the email if when they're just glancing at it, it just looks like a bunch of hype marketing stuff. They're not going to read it. So you need to create your emails like you're talking to your best friend and just talk to them. Give them lots of value. Now, I said I kind of get on my soapbox about this, but the whole purpose of emails are to bring people closer to you, let them know that you can help them, and to make your offers. And if they're not reading them, they're not acting on them. All right, so I'll get off my soapbox there. We have one other thing here that we're going to add. So I'm going to click on done. And then we need to add our footer. So I'm just going to click and drag this over. And you know what? Every time I try to do this when I'm recording, I think my computer doesn't like the memory. In a perfect world, you just click and drag this over and it pops in. It's not doing it because I'm trying to record it, but it's that simple. Trust me. On your footer, what I like to do is, let me see if I have an example that I can show you. I'll save this. I'll come back out. And let me see if this one has it. That one doesn't. Bear with me. One more time. So here is the footer. So here was the first section. Here was the second one. Just for fun, I'm going to just see if I can drag over. It must be computer, the memory. It's just not letting me do it. Don't know why. But as you can see here, I did it earlier. Now, what I do in the footer, now you'll notice all of these little commands or codes. It's just pulling from your user preferences, your user setup. So it will put all of that in place. The only thing I do in this section, I come over here to the left, I select everything, and because I don't want it right in their face. So I just kind of shrink it down. By law, we have to have this unsubscribe. So when you click on that, you open the link and add your unsubscribe link. You have to have your location in the email, all that kind of stuff. But I don't want it in their face. I don't want it to be the first thing that they see. So I just shrink it down a little bit and it's at the bottom. And then again, up here is where I would start adding all of my information. Okay, so does that make sense? And then when you're all done and you have your template created and it's beautiful and you're ready to go, then what you can do is when you go to create your next one, you can say, I want to use, whatever template it is. And you just get in there and you start working away and you're good to go. So I hope that makes sense. So go out and create some emails that people are actually going to open up and they're going to take action on it. Okay, I hope this was helpful. As always, if you happen to be on my YouTube channel and you're seeing this, hit the subscribe button. I love sharing these technical tips with you and training. And speaking of email, I have a fabulous little email program. It's not, what to say on the first email, but it digs in behind the psychology of email, what makes people open the emails, what you can do to bring people closer. So if you're interested in that, I'll put a link below so you can take advantage of that. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.